Aloha, and welcome to more local ventures.
We'll visit behind the scenes with some of Hawaii's most innovative and successful businesses. From mom and pop shops to high tech and media, from local entrepreneurs reinventing second and third generation family businesses to new cutting edge startups. Find out how they're meeting today's challenges in our changing world. Stay with us.
More Local Ventures is sponsored by Central Pacific Bank. Central Pacific Bank works for you.
Aloha, my name's Earl Kiali Ka'apunikani II. Born and raised here in Hawaii. Our company here is Hawaii Hotspot Surf School. We're located at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. We teach the surfing lessons daily here in front of Kaiser's, and we also teach stand-up paddling every day here at the Duke's Lagoon. Megan? Bill? Sienna? Well, actually, I've been a surf instructor here at the Hilton for 12 years. We were doing it for another company, and in 2004, I decided to start my own surf school. I wanted to do my own program. So I went to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. It took a couple of months. There's paperwork you got to fill out. And there's also a class, an entrepreneur class, and you work on your business plan. And you really kind of fine-tune your business. So that way, when you start your company, you know what you're talking about and you got all bases covered. For this side of the island, for the south side of the island, this is our best waves for the south side of the island. When I was a little kid, when I was your age, Sienna, this is where my dad taught me how to surf. The same place where I'm taking you guys. It's a nice little wave. The wave's only about shoulder high. It's a real easy day. There's no wind. Our team, the boys, our job is we're gonna take you out into the lineup, into the waves. When that wave comes up on me, I'm gonna send you off on that wave. So I promise you, today, you're gonna ride that wave. I've been doing it here for 12 years. So I guarantee you're gonna fly. That loan money gave me the financial backing to start my company, to purchase all my surfboards and my equipment, to get my company off the ground and get started. Pop that back foot up, get it centered, balance, balance, balance. Surfing stance, hold your stance. Good job, hold that stance, bend your knees, bend them. Okay, looking forward, leaning forward. All right, you guys got a 100-yard ride. Your ride's done, you're out of control. What are you doing when you're done surfing? Beautiful, beautiful. Surfing's been a part of my life. You know, my dad taught me how to surf when I was a little kid. You know, I taught my son how to surf. Surfing is Hawaii's contribution to the sporting world. You know, I love to surf. That's my outlet. To have a bad day or you need to get away, I always love to go out and surf. You want to be able to share that experience with other people, and to see the other little kids and adults, they come out of the water and they're like, man, I can't believe I did it, and I rode that wave, and they have that big smile from ear to ear. You know, that's what makes it all worth it as a teacher, you know, that you got a chance to share that aloha and that love with them, and share a piece of that Hawaiian culture with them here in Waikiki Beach. Good job. That's good. Maybe the front foot, might want to turn it. That's like Blue Crush, girl. Yeah, that looks awesome. Okay, surf, surf, surf. The wave's done and down. Well, our first and main philosophy is always safety first. That's one of the main things, actually, we really stress here in our surf school is safety first for our guests and safety for our instructors. That's the one thing our surf school have is a perfect safety record. Step one, knees up. Bam. Step two, front foot in the center, get it set. Now your last step, this is the important one. As you're looking forward, leaning forward, don't move your melon. Keep your head low. Use your arms, pop the back foot in. Being a teacher is a whole different story than being a surfer. You know, to be a successful teacher, you gotta have patience. What you're doing is you're sharing the stoke, you're sharing the experience with other people. You know, I love to surf, I love that experience. You know, I like to share that with all the other guests. This is what happens if you rush. Okay, I push you on the wave, up, up. Your stance is not set, you're gonna be totally thrown off, you're gonna get a bad ride. Take your time, and being that surfing is a Hawaiian sport that originated here in Hawaii, what a better way to, you know, visit the island and enjoy, see the aloha by taking a surf lesson or come surf. Waves done, what do you do when you're done surfing? Nice. We've had the business now, we're coming up to about 5 years. But when we went through our hard economic times, we just had to, really be frugal and actually kind of just work harder, and actually kind of hustle. When you make money, you always want to save money and, put some money on the side, because when it did take that hard turn, it was pretty tough there for a while. The Malama loan really helps out, especially for startup capital, to get your money going. And, I encourage any Hawaiian or every Hawaiian to go through the program. If I can do it, you can do it. Right here in front of us. You see the 2 green markers out there? Our surf spot. Remember I was talking about Kaisers? Bam, right here in front of us.
More Local Ventures is sponsored by Central Pacific Bank. Central Pacific Bank works for you.
Did you find everything you need?
Good evening. We've got a full house tonight.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Hawaii's #1 choice to Las Vegas has everything you need to get to Vegas. All-inclusive chartered, custom, and group travel packages.
Paper or plastic?
Call Vacations Hawaii now while it's on your mind. 591-4777.
Want an iPod Touch? We've got an account for that. Open exceptional checking with $10,000 in direct deposit and get an iPod Touch with our Premier Checking account. You'll get our best benefits, plus new enhanced features like our Identity Theft Protection Package. Exceptional checking, the account with the exceptional touch.
This segment of More Local Ventures is brought to you by Pacific Cap, Hawaii's largest local venture capital firm.
Starting a family is a dream of many couples. The heartbreak of having difficulties can be devastating. The Pacific In-vitro Fertilization Institute has helped thousands of families fill their homes with the sounds of children's laughter. They are the largest and most successful in vitro clinic in Hawaii. Let's go and talk with 2 of those doctors who make those dreams come true. What are you going to show me here?
Well, Kim, I'm going to show you a special way of fertilizing an egg.
Okay.
It's called ICSI, or intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Okay? Let's assume this is an egg, and this is the cytoplasm of the egg, and a nucleus in here. Okay. In some cases, when the sperm is not strong enough to fertilize the egg in another way we do it, this is about the size of a white blood cell. It's microscopic. Okay. We can actually take a very fine glass needle that's finer than a human hair, by the way, and we can put the little sperm head and inject it into that and fertilize that egg under the microscope. We do this only when there's a great deal of difficulty. The men have low sperm counts, etc. But that has been a breakthrough. I have a grandson that's 15 years old as a result of Dr. Wong here doing this.
Well, take me back. I know you were really instrumental in getting this institute created in Hawaii.
We opened our doors on April Fool's Day of 1985, and my father thought I was a fool to do it. We put in a lot of money because it was very expensive to build the laboratory. There's a lot of equipment and things like that. And anyway, April Fool's Day, and then our baby was born, first baby born 8 months and 16 days later.
Yay.
Yeah, in December.
So basically your first week in business you were successful.
Our 6th patient.
Wow.
And 17% was great in those days, back in 1985. Now, of course, today it's much higher than that. But that's how it all started.
What's the toughest part and the best part about your job?
Well, I think the best part is when people get pregnant. I mean, we've had people trying for 15 years that have come in. It's like Christmas every week. We'd have a pregnancy, at least a couple every week.
And the tough part?
Well, the tough part, I think, is maintaining quality control. For example, when we started, we would get eggs by laparoscopy, which is an operation. Now, we do a simple needle aspiration of the egg sac with ultrasound guidance, and they are out in 20 minutes. It's a quick procedure. I mean, there's so many different things that have developed in those 25 years that I have to go to a meeting every 3 months to keep up with what's going on.
What excites you that seems to be coming in the future with IVF or in vitro?
Well, there's several things coming up. One thing is frozen eggs. Now we can freeze embryos, but frozen eggs, that's a much more difficult process. Let's say a patient has a history of some terrible genetic disease in their family and you want to be sure you don't have an embryo that has that in it. We can biopsy the embryo and make special tools to be sure that that embryo does not carry that genetic disease.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Now, but it is incredible, but it also has a potential of injuring the embryo. The thing that's new, that's coming, is the development of testing those that DNA without having to biopsy the. It's a non-invasive way of testing. It's going to happen where we'll be able to do these non-invasive tests and be able to tell that's the best embryo, so that's the one we're going to put back.
Let's talk about multiple births. Why are there some younger women having so many babies? We've heard about Octomom a lot in the community.
This segment of More Local Ventures is brought to you by PacificNetwork.tv, Hawaii's portal to the world. PacificNetwork.tv is a revolutionary network of movies, TV shows, and interactive programming brought to you from Hawaii. On PacificNetwork.tv, primetime is all the time. You don't have to catch a program when it broadcasts. You decide when you want to watch. Here you'll discover so much with just the click of your mouse. Enjoy interactive shows, video on demand, social networking where you can engage with other viewers while you watch a show. PacificNetwork.tv, Hawaii's portal to the world.
Want an iPod Touch? We've got an account for that. Open exceptional checking with $10,000 in direct deposit and get an iPod Touch with our Premier Checking account. You'll get our best benefits, plus new enhanced features like our Identity Theft Protection Package. Exceptional checking, the account with the exceptional touch.
This segment of More Local Ventures is brought to you by PacificNetwork.tv, Hawaii's portal to the world.
Let's talk about multiple births. Why are there some younger women having so many babies? We've heard about Octomom a lot in the community.
Okay, Octomom was a terrible violation of all the national guidelines for proper practice of in vitro fertilization. We developed, based on a lot of data, the proper number of embryos to put back depending on age, quality of embryo, etc. They never included transfer of 6 embryos. That doctor violated all the guidelines. Nobody puts in 6 embryos and follows the guidelines. The most that anybody puts back is 4, and that's in older women when the quality of the embryos are not very good. We're after 1 normal baby. 2's okay. Any more than that is an adverse outcome.
What makes your institute more successful than others?
Well, we've had a 24-year history of learning, and we've had, I think, dedicated people who have a lot of training and experience. Also, we have a really, really good laboratory director, Dr. Thomas Wong.
When a couple comes to you and they're just starting out on this path, what do you tell them about the costs and the process?
We're one of 13 states in the country that has a mandated healthcare program that covers in vitro fertilization.
So the first time is covered. If that doesn't take, then it's out-of-pocket costs from there.
That's correct.
And that's around how much?
Well, it depends on the age of the patient. The biggest cost is the medication. The medications are very expensive. You can have as much as $7,000 or $8,000 worth of medication. So all in all, it's around $10,000 to $12,000 on that average.
Are fertility rates changing? Are there trends, or we're just becoming more advanced at helping those couples who couldn't get pregnant before?
I think they're changing because of the people waiting to have children at a later age. I mean, our parents were having children in their 20s and then now they're 30s. And so the age factor is making it more difficult to conceive, but then with technology we're helping that aspect. I
have to tell you, I really can't go anywhere without meeting somebody that you've helped start a family.
I know, it's amazing. We have the most babies actually in Hawaii, and the most important thing is we have the best laboratory. And that's the key to a good in vitro program is the laboratory. Hawaii is a small place, and we've helped so many people have babies who would never have had a chance
What are the success rates like these days?
If we do donor IVF, in which the eggs are young eggs, we use college students, and the patients can be as old as 50 years old, and they could be menopausal. And the mom herself is not the critical factor, it's the egg. And so with donor eggs, we're 70% and higher. So that's an extremely high success rate. But someone over 40, it's around 10% or less.
We do much better than the national average in donor egg IVF and in frozen embryo transfers. There is some evidence that there's some racial differences in success rates in vitro fertilization. And of course we have a very good possibility of studying that in Hawaii because we have a lot of Asian population. That particular work has not been done, but there seems to be some evidence that for some reason the Asian population has a little bit lower pregnancy rate with in vitro fertilization.
Talk to me about the psychology of people, of couples that come to you and how you help them handle that side of it.
Well, I think the main thing is to help them become pregnant, then they're quite happy. But we never tell them that they can never have a baby, because with donor egg, everyone can have a baby. As long as she has a uterus, we can have a baby for her. Maybe donor, but everyone can have a baby. Around 50% of the factors are now due to the male or the low sperm count. And now we can help every male. And in the past, a husband with a low sperm count would never be able to conceive a child. But now, with in vitro, we can help almost every husband conceive.
Why personally do you do what you do?
Oh, it's a happy feel. Everyone's healthy, no one's sick. And then when you help them, it's the only, I think, field in which you go into the hospital, let's say, and then come out with something extra. You know, most times you go to the hospital for surgery and something is taken out, but this time you come back with something extra. So that's a very happy feel.
To make money at it doing it in Hawaii, it's not an easy job. I mean, no matter what you do, it's always going to be hard to really work on a worldwide basis from Hawaii. I never would want to take it away from our hands-on experience here. You know, for us doing it here and building them ourselves, it keeps us real.
This segment of More Local Ventures is brought to you by Vacations Hawaii.
Pacific Business News is what you need in these challenging economic times. It's the best way to keep on top of local business news. Plus, we provide dozens of business leads every week that help you build your business. Are you still reading someone else's copy of PBN? Give yourself the competitive edge that we've been providing Hawaii businesses for nearly 50 years. Get your own copy of Pacific Business News. Call 955-8002 for a free 4-week trial subscription.
More Local Ventures is sponsored by Central Pacific Bank. Central Pacific Bank works for you.
Champion canoe paddler Kai Bartlett has turned his passion into a thriving business. Kai Va'a creates outrigger canoes on Maui for the fast-growing sport of one-man canoe paddling.
I'm a paddler, canoe builder, dad, husband. Back in 1995, I started building canoes. I always had a passion for water sports and stuff, and never really had that chance, I guess, you know, to jump in. My parents paddled when I was young, and I always admired the way the canoes travel through the water. So I think it was kind of like that little blessing in disguise when I started making canoes. Started working for pennies, but I didn't care. You know, it was an art, it was a craft. I was in love. Once I got involved in the paddling aspect of it, it was over, done deal. Sold for life, good to go. And that was pretty much a turning, that was where everything changed. And I knew what I wanted to do the rest of my life. Yeah, make canoes, and I want to have fun at it. I mean, I want to do well at it, but number one is to have fun, because if you're not having fun, then you're not going to do it forever, you know? I always have faith in my equipment and our design, But I never really like to think that we've got the best thing out there, because sometimes you get maybe a little too comfortable. And you know, it's always good to keep being innovative and looking for new ideas and stuff like that. Right now we have 3 different canoes that we will produce. We actually have 4 that we would produce, but the third being this Polaris. It's kind of an older generation of what the Scorpius is now. Since I've been involved in '95, it's definitely gotten a lot bigger than what it was. I mean, it's huge compared to back then. I think probably about 2 years ago or 3 years ago is probably the peak that I've seen, especially with, you know, like participation at races and stuff. I think now it's, you know, it's just the economy's kind of putting people under they're hiding a little bit, but the interest is always there. The interest is always growing, which is amazing. You know, we are doing overseas manufacturing, so it did, you know, clean up a lot of the backlog that we have had. We won't get much profit, but basically, you know, you got to buy them at a certain price. So if we can just make a little bit over that price and get rid of boats cheap, that's really it. I mean, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and make a little, but at least make something. And you know, we're doing that here as well. We're dropping our prices a tiny bit. And like I said earlier, we're trying to find, you know, different layups that you'd find the same weight and the same stiffness, but yet save us a little bit, you know, so we can drop the price on that and just playing the game. For us, it's important to keep it in Hawaii as well. And the overseas thing is really just to help fulfill the market, because, I mean, no matter what you do, it's always going to be hard to really work on a worldwide basis from Hawaii. I mean, there's too much involved, and you know, a lot of people just want to get into the sport and paddle, and that's the way to do it. But I never would want to take it away from our hands-on experience here, just because it's too much of a craft, and you know, if you lose that aspect of it, it's too commercial. And you know, for us doing it here and keeping it in Hawaii and building them ourselves, it keeps us real. To make money at it doing it in Hawaii, it's not an easy job. You know, for a guy like me, where you're doing all the training and everything else, it's quite difficult because you need time for all that. Right now I have 1 part-time, 2 full-time, and 1 beginner guy. I'm trying to get him on the road. We don't have too many. I mean, I don't want too many either. We just got to learn how to be efficient with our time and with what we do, because if things slow down, you know, then you got to start laying all kind of guys off, and that's no fun. So I like to keep it simple. It's not too profitable, but it does pay the bills. You know, if you were to hustle at it, you could make money at it. Never was a businessman. I was always the artist, so I don't know if I'll ever make anything at it. You know, really, it's all about trying to make a light, solid canoe that can be as light as you can make it and durable as you can make it. You know, so it's even just playing with stuff here. You know, sometimes the books don't always tell the tale. Sometimes it's just R&D, you know, and trying things out yourself. And we're always pushing that envelope. I mean, to a degree, we could really push it far if we wanted to put a lot of money into it, but sometimes that can go a little scarce on you. We do what we can with what we have, and working out pretty good so far. You know, people have different beliefs on how they like the boat to feel, and you definitely want a stiff boat, sometimes maybe not over stiff, but the main thing, you can make it through a heavy section and come out floating. That's our main goal. The cost of the canoes, it's pretty set. The local builders have a pretty set standard price. You know, right now we're trying to play with it with the economy and stuff, but basically, you know, all the overseas stuff is all priced around the same, and then all the local built stuff is all priced around the same as well. Local built, of course, is a bit more pricey, but you know, it takes a lot more to do it here locally. So but yeah, everybody kind of flags each other on that, you know. We all stay within the same realm. I'm not of Hawaiian descent, but born and raised, so I'll take it as it comes. But to me, you know, it's pretty damn spiritual. Not a lot of people get to experience what we get to experience out there. And, you know, I'm not deep into the roots of Hawaii. I'm not, you know, I don't know much of the language. You know, I did study a lot of the culture. But, you know, this is my way of giving back to it, in a sense. You know, we're out there perpetuating the paddling side of it, because without the paddling, the islands would have never been connected. I mean, there's a lot that goes without paddling, you know. No fishing, no nothing. So it's just my part of it, you know, my way of perpetuating a piece of it, just a small piece.
Closed captioning for More Local Ventures is sponsored by Maui Lavender and Wolfgang Steakhouse. Mahalo to our presenting partner, Central Pacific Bank. Coming up on More Local Ventures, meet some of Hawaii's innovative entrepreneurs. Find out how they're meeting today's challenges in our changing world. You can also watch More Local Ventures on PacificNetwork.tv.